these are amateurs. I mean, they're all amateurs.
There's a word that you use, sycophant.
Sycophant.
Sycophant. Very precise.
Very much.
Yeah, and then you can say the whole cabinet is made up of sycophants.
Absolutely.
And then they're all kind of, like you said, like they're drunk on power and control right now.
Yes, because they're not used to it. I mean, these guys have won the lottery, power-wise. So the first thing they do is go and buy expensive cars and all the clothes and expensive watches. Sort of if you follow the metaphor, and they're having a great time because they're not having to think about the weight of responsibility that's on their shoulders. Perhaps that's unfair, but it does seem absolutely that he's surrounded by people that are unable to say no to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is probably the case with most presidents, to be honest. I think certainly Trump is not a man who likes or can manage being criticised. I mean, he just doesn't. He seems unable to cope with criticism. So he can only surround himself with sycophants. He's not able to look past the criticism. It's very personal. That's the thin skin.
Personal.
It gets personal
every time.
Every time. Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised by when Zelensky was making the remark that Ukraine, we don't have that border. We don't have two oceans as a natural border, right?
No.
But very soon, U.S. you're going to feel that, and then he cuts him off, and it's as if he's attacking him. Zelensky's statement is just saying, you're not invulnerable either, but he take it as it's attacking him.
Yeah, it was Trump that started. It's Trump that lost his temper and started shouting.
Yeah,
right? It's Trump that lost his composure.
Yeah.
I mean, Zelensky is naive, but I mean, he's, again, he's an amateur that's become a politician. I mean, these people are, they're plucked from nowhere with no experience.
Zelensky, you mean?
Well, I mean, a lot of politicians in democratic.
Oh, okay.
I guess this is an argument against democracy, perhaps, is you end up with people with little experience.
Yes.
Not so much the case in Europe. But, I mean, the United States should be calmly in charge. Mm-hmm. So for Trump to start losing his composure and start shouting and threatening, this is World War III sort of on its way. And this is playing out in every sphere of policy right now. I mean, he's for crying out loud, he's attacking these law firms, just purely out of retribution and threatening them with, federal actions and cutting them off, and only basically shaking them down for millions of dollars worth of free legal assistance to the White House. Mm-hmm. That's basically, it's kind of a fascist move. It's corrupt, I think, in every way. And for him to be threatening anybody who buys Venezuelan oil is going to have a 25% tariff. I mean, it seems that he's shooting from the hip in every direction, because he's got an unlimited clip of bang bang. And the markets have just said, well, we're out. The institutional investors have fled the US equity markets. It's only mostly, of course, American private investors, consumers that are propping up things like Tesla. Mm-hmm. The institutions have fled because they can't cope with, there's no planning, there's no predictability, there's no stability at all. It's just total chaos.
Yeah.
For the sake of chaos.
Right.
As if chaos was a quality, and it's not.
You made an analogy of, it's like Trump has all these power levers, right? And I would go further, like he's trying to figure out how this machine works by just randomly pulling levers and testing how far the machine can go.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Right?
I mean, it's like he's testing, it's like a sort of a policy test environment. Yeah. We'll just do anything.
Yeah.
As long as it plays well with the base, then the long-term damage, the US I think Trump feels that he's invulnerable, and he's not.
Or he's thinking that all these policy, if it turns out to be failure, it's at no cost to him.
Precisely, he's insulated. He's invulnerable to anything that.
So heck with the citizens, heck with Americans, basically.
Heck with everything.
Like there's a outrageous comments he was making yesterday. He was saying, car makers, you cannot jack up your price just because there's tariff policy. So you're asking car makers to swallow all that loss or all, right? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make economic sense.
Right. So that he's making these ridiculous policy moves, and then he's threatening the people that would have. He's threatening American companies, the ones that are supposed to be thriving with this new sort of policy, and saying, you know, if you allow these tax increases to be passed on to the consumer, which you always have to do, then I'm going to attack you.
Right.
I mean, it's insanity. There's no point even trying to rationalize it. You would go mad.
Yeah.
It's totally insane.
Yeah.